More and more countries are being forced to shut restaurants right before Christmas and New Year's holidays. Ireland, for example, has closed pubs and restaurants starting on Christmas Eve. South Korea is limiting gatherings to 5 people. And Morocco is shutting coffee shops, restaurants and supermarkets at 8 p.m, according to state media. Globally, restaurant closures are up 28%, according to OpenTable. Its CEO, Debby Soo, joins me from New Hampshire via Skype. Let me first of all declare a conflict of interest. I love OpenTable, and I use it frequently to book reservations. So at least you know you've got one fan here. Look, Debby, here in New York, where inside dining has closed again, outdoor dining is simply really miserable, even with heaters. I mean, what's going to happen to these restaurants? What's your research showing?
The research is showing that the restaurant industry, including in New York City, is in dire straits right now. As you know, in New York City, the weather has turned very, very cold, as it has in New Hampshire. We saw snow last week, and dining outdoors, though it is legally acceptable and it's available, is not pleasant. So with the shutdown of indoor dining in New York, that's a huge blow to the industry. We're seeing it across, all the cities in the U.S. We're seeing it internationally as well.
Right.
This is a tough time for restaurants. We are in dire straits here, and we need more aid. We need more help. OpenTable is trying to do our part. We've waived all of our fees. We've seated over 75 million diners for our restaurant partners this year at no charge. But, it's still not enough. We need to be doing more.
So, for example, the bill that, on the US side, the bill that's just been put forward, or just been passed by the Congress, does have some money for restaurants, probably nowhere near enough. And other countries have done similar. But, is there not a truth that needs to be spoken, which is that essentially governments can't keep these restaurants going, and we are going to lose a lot of restaurants? It's not fair, it's not right, but that's what's going to happen.
It already is happening, despite the 2 packages that have come across, right, for the U.S., the bills that have passed. And you're right. There will be restaurants. There have been restaurants that have closed, but we're talking about over 11 million workers in the hospitality industry who have lost their jobs due to this pandemic. Right. So it's not just the restaurant owners; it's everyone that the restaurant employs, which is a big segment of the U.S. workforce.
Sure.
And so to say, is the truth is, should we just let them shut down? Many of them already have, but is there more that we can be doing if we can? If we can be, I think we should be doing more. And for everyone watching, right, what we can do is frequent and, dine if you're comfortable, or order takeout or delivery from your restaurants, buy gift cards, because this winter is going to be very, very hard. These next few weeks are going to be very difficult until we get a vaccine that's more widely distributed.
But you said, you say that safety becomes the gold standard for restaurants. But I'm seeing again here in New York, I'm seeing essentially indoor restaurants being constructed. They've got 4 walls and plastic sheeting,
yes,
but heaters of electricity. There's one, I'm not going to mention the name, but there's one particular restaurant near where I live, but it's essentially built an indoor restaurant outdoors. Now that's not safe, is it?
Well, so there have been recommendations and specialists that have said, for outdoor dining to be very, very safe, or the safest as can be, is that there needs to be all 4 walls can't be there. There needs to be air inflow and outflow, right? But I do think, even with an igloo or a yurt that has 4 walls, it's probably still safer to do that than to, dine how we normally would. So it's really up to the restaurants, and all of the restaurants that, are partnering with OpenTable are following those regulations very, very closely. But there are certain standards of safety, and it also is upon the diner to gauge what's right for them. At OpenTable, what we've done is we've launched a safety precautions product feature, which allows the restaurants to say very specifically and clearly on their restaurant profile page exactly what safety precautions they're taking. So the diner, even before they show up, knows exactly what they're about to get into.
Debby, thank you. It's good to have you on the programme. We'll talk more, of course. We need to hear the voices as we continue. Thank you. I appreciate it. Now